How's the tour so far?
Tour's been great. It's been really exciting to be back in North America. It's been a long time since we've been here. We don't get to tour North America that often. Being that we're coming from Brazil, everybody is living in Brazil. It's very difficult to come to the US and do tours, unfortunately. But this is such a great package to come out with Testament, with Prong, the Convalescence. It was the first part of the tour that we've done so far. We're a little bit more than halfway through, but it's exciting. It's all of us have new albums out. We have our new album, Machine Messiah. So this is the first part of the touring cycle that we're working on right now.
Yeah, let's talk about the new album,
Okay.
Machine Messiah. How did you approach the songwriting?
Well, I mean, we usually approach the songwriting process with coming up with a topic or focus point. And then we go from there, expanding with ideas and communicating with each other. Then going to the rehearsal studio possibly 5 days a week, like a regular job. Going in, throwing out ideas, recording everything, and then coming back and picking through the best ideas and doing this for months in the writing process. A lot of times ideas come from being on the road, bits and pieces like thinking back or lyrical ideas, or maybe a riff that Andreas had or a beat Aloy has, and he just records it and keep it. So I think it's a lot of sharing that has to go on, a lot of communicating, and that process takes a while. But that happened a year ago, early on in the year last year, and we stayed away from doing a lot of tours in Europe and everywhere, and just working on the writing of the music. And so for Machine Messiah, was very smooth. We had a lot of time. There was no rush in order to make the album. We felt very comfortable. This is the second album with Aloy Casagrande. So working with a great label, Nuclear Blast, also helps a lot in order to properly get things going smoothly.
And you have some very interesting lyrics on this album. Can you tell us a bit about the concept?
Yeah, I mean, the idea of Machine Messiah, like the whole name itself, is related to the fact that so many people treat technology as almost a religion, almost as a messiah. You see people every day consistently glued to their phones or their computers or TV, and it's teaching them something, or they believe it's teaching them something, or it's they're searching for something, or a hope, or enlightenment, or something, but it's all through this technology that's in our world. And it's just something that's been here for a while now, but it's kind of crept its way into being this new messiah that I think a lot of people haven't really realized yet. But it's inevitable, it's bound to happen. Technology is an important aspect. So we have a lot of the title, or the songs are about that duality of people having to deal with this new technology. Is it good for us? Is it helpful in humanity? And so we have certain topics with that in general. And then we also have topics talking about GMO foods, which has to do with technology as well, and the manipulating of organisms, and actually manipulating of money, actually, as far as it goes, because people want to copyright certain vegetables or seeds and things like that, which is disgusting. A lot of politics in Brazil at the time we were writing the album. There was an impeachment going on. The country completely split. I think a lot of people in America can relate to that, feeling that the country is very split and torn apart through these leaders who have, sworn to take oath to help people, or to help, humanity in a way which doesn't seem to be working that way at all throughout history. A lot of politicians, most of the time, have been helping themselves, and so unfortunately, there's a lot of these type of negative things that are going on, but it's impossible to ignore a lot of things like that. So it's based on many different things that are happening while writing the album, and being on tour and collaborating with those ideas.
Do you think modern technology and social media do help a band or not?
I think they can absolutely help a band. There's no doubt about it. I mean, there's bands I've never heard of, and I can hear the name one time, write it down, go online, and find that band. Growing up, it was impossible, to find information or waiting, by mail for a CD or a tape or usually a tape or an album to come to listen to it. But you find out so much more about a band's history, their discography. You can listen to everything they've done in the past to present. I mean, it's a great technology being able to have access to so much music at your fingertips, on your phone for that much. And so I think for me, it was always like the side of being very positive side of technology. I agree or feel there is. And I think it just needs to be a balance, with this technology and everything. But I think it's great for bands. I think it's the best thing for us as well. I took a big role in creating the Facebook page for Sepultura and having the official one and really learned a lot from that.
What do you like most about the creation of a new album?
I think the reaction, for sure, playing live, the new songs, and the reaction of fans, for them never hearing it and for us never performing the song live for these, for the people. So I think that excitement never goes away. It's something very fresh every night. It has a whole new energy in the air, especially as a musician after playing so many years. It's very exciting to step out on stage and to see, people who either know the songs from listening to it already or learning the songs. You see it computing in their head, just like, wow, what just happened, and it's a really great feeling.
And how has the music style of Sepultura evolved in this new album?
I think we explored some different aspects of what we like. I think you can see a little bit more of our personality in the music or hear it. I did some clean vocals on this album, but especially the first song was something that we never had a song like that in the very beginning of the album, but it really sets the tone for the album. I think Andreas is doing incredible guitar work, showing his classical side of guitar that he had always studied and knew how to play for so many years. And then with Eloy, also really digging deep with different rhythms, coming from like death metal to jazz to a big mixture of different things going on. So it takes you on a type of a ride, from beginning to the end. It's definitely taking you on a journey through sounds and having Tunisian strings that were brought in as an idea from Jens Borgren, the producer of the album. So a collaboration of all these different ideas and everything really created this layers of Machine Messiah.
And do you have a favorite song?
I think
maybe one
since
that
we're
you
playing
like
live
perform,
now,
yeah.
it's like Phantom Self, I think, is where we have a video for. Is great to play live. The rhythm of it, the power of it, it's definitely an uplifting song, I believe, and we're playing 5 new songs on this tour, so that's definitely one of my favorites to play live.
You also play earlier Sepultura music.
Mm-hmm.
Do you identify with those songs?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, because I grew up with those songs, and it's interesting because they have a different take on them, of course, being in the band. But everybody has like their interpretation of certain songs of artists they like or admire, and I have a lot of respect for all the old songs and everything they've always done. And for me, it has a very strong place, in my heart. Those songs always will. And of course, from doing them, I can flash back in my head to the time where I was like, oh yeah, I remember what I was doing, listening to this album or this song reminds me of those time periods. But again, it's different. Now that I'm in the band, I'm seeing it in a completely different way. So if we're doing a Rise or Beneath the Remains or stuff that I wasn't really into, maybe stuff from Schizophrenia, it has a whole new different meaning to me. And so for me, it's just all fresh and great to do live.
And have you ever been asked to do a tour playing an entire album?
Yes.
But you didn't accept, obviously.
No, obviously not. I mean, for us, it wouldn't make any sense to go in the studio and create new music and then come out and do an entire tour on an album that maybe we did like years ago. A special show and things like that I think are great to do, but for me it would be a boring tour. It's like, we did this already. I understand celebrating and doing those things are great, but for us, we love to do new music, to live with what's happening now, to be in the moment. It's like something very special. What made those songs very special back then was being in that moment.
Yes, very true.
So it's unfortunately, you're never gonna have those moments again, but that's what makes them so special. It's like something that was like, wow. You weren't expecting it, and it happened that way, and it's very real. So for us, I think it's really important to focus on now. Really what's happening now, because it is a moment, and we don't want to miss it.
Right. On Kairos, you covered Just One Fix by Ministry and Firestarter by Prodigy. What made you choose those songs?
I think they're like songs that are like, we've always been fans of these artists, and I think a lot of people might not have guessed it, but I mean, they have a big influence. I mean, the rhythm of these bands, the power behind the rhythm that they have. They're very unique bands as well, and they have their own distinct personality. Ministry has always had a link with Sepultura, because before I was in the band, Sepultura toured with Ministry. Prodigy, I've been a huge fan of. Would love to do something with them in the future. It would be great if the chance ever came about. But it's fun to do covers of different genres of music. I think for us, it's great because we have the musical ability to do that and not be afraid to do that. It's easy to do a metal cover of a metal band because that's what we do already. So I think for us, it's challenging to try different stuff. Like we've done Massive Attack cover, done Bauhaus cover, we've done, even Public Enemy cover. It's just, I don't know, it's fun, to do covers. I don't like to do just the typical covers.
Right. So you would consider recording other covers in the future?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's challenging, and it can be very fun and surprising for even ourselves. I mean, we did a U2 cover, and I was like, wow, I didn't realize how strong it would come out, but it really came out strong, and a completely different look towards that song and that band. And the same with Massive Attack. I was seeing it in a TV show. I was just like, wow, they're really using this for something I never imagined. So
do you have a song in mind that you would like to cover?
Yeah. There's a few. I'm not going to say the song, but it's by two different artists, completely radically different artists. One idea was Bjork, and the other one was Leonard Skinner.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Choices, actually, yeah.
So people, I think, would be like, I gotta hear this cover.
Yeah, right? Totally. Reinterpreted Sepultura style.
Right.
Yeah. Back in 2014, you played a Rock in Rio with Voodoo Bronx, and you released a DVD. How did that happen? Such a unique collaboration.
Well, we saw them play at a festival in France, Le Tambour de Bronx, and it was like a Tibetan type festival, and they were playing, and we were just impressed by how powerful and just primitive the sound, and we felt it would be such a good collaboration with Sepultura if they wanted to do something like that. And they were very open-minded to try something together, and they were fans of the band, and to collaborate with them was incredible. It was something they had never imagined. The same as we had the same feeling. So once we started talking and sending stuff back and forth, then it worked out really well, to expand from that, doing stuff in the studio to doing it live, where visually we felt that it would be such a huge impact and something I'd never seen with metal. But it drew a lot of different people who weren't necessarily into metal to like a live show where it's just like, okay, it's great as an artist to consistently think of ways to entertain your fans, and especially musically all the time, but visually as well. It's important. But when you have that combination together, it's unbeatable. So we're very fortunate to meet them, and they were so open-minded and very cool and easy to work with, and it was something that's historical now. A lot of people never forget
unique.
it. Right.
Glad you released the DVD.
Thank you.
You also, it's always Rock in Rio, you joined Moonspell on stage in 2015. How did that happen?
Well, Rock in Rio, we've always had such a strong link with Sepultura, because Sepultura's played probably every single Rock in Rio except for the first one, and then maybe one other. But they have a stage, a smaller stage than the main stage. It's a big stage, but they have bands come and they combine with another artist, and that's the only way that you can play that stage, if you're combining with another artist. And so the producer there thought it would be great to get together with Moonspell if I were to do something with them. And I wasn't that familiar with their music, but we'd done many shows with them as far as festivals and things like that. They're Portuguese, and then of course I knew that. But then I started listening to their stuff and giving them ideas of what we could do together. And I was really like the idea of doing it, because it's singing that they're doing. I don't have to necessarily do screaming. I could do a mix or try something different, And it was a lot of fun. I mean, they're great musicians, great artists, and this is their first time playing Rock in Rio. And it turned out to be, better than I could possibly imagine. It was really a lot of fun. But Rock in Rio is pretty open like that with that stage. You have a lot of different collaborations that go on.
So in general, you're interested in collaborating with other artists?
I am. I have, I think, pretty unique tastes. Like I said, I like to collaborate with artists that are doing things differently than what we're doing.
Of course. And in the current music scene and industry, what is the most challenging aspect of being a musician?
I think staying healthy now as you get older. I mean, I know a lot of musicians who are like my age or older, or who are younger. Just it's difficult. You see a lot of people just break down from traveling on the road, or so many years of abuse, of physical or mental, or away from family. All these different elements can weigh away at your health and stress and things like that. The traveling aspect of flying, bus, or wherever. I think these things are super important as you get older, to take care of your health. I think it's the most difficult thing as they get older. I'm like, wow, it's tired early on. It's like have to do things to stay energized.
What motivates you to continue your music career?
Definitely fans. I mean, to come out on stage, feeling like tired maybe all day, and then go there and have that energy and that response immediately. It's unbelievable. It still never gets old. And those positive fans that are there, and even the negative ones, maybe push harder. I've always been like a alternative guy, and I was just like, I don't need the approval of everybody, kind of like punk rock attitude.
Punk rebels.
Rebellions. But it's always helped, to like drive me personally, and I think the band, to go further.
Yeah. What are your plans after this tour?
This is the very beginning of the tour cycle, so we'll go to Europe, do festivals, and shows in between the festivals, come back to Brazil, do a lot of shows within Brazil, tour of Brazil, South America, Central America, and then close towards the end of the year, fall, December, Asian tour, Australia tour, and some other exotic places in between there, which will be great. And then next year, the idea is to do Europe at the beginning of the year, a headlining tour.
Maybe another North American tour.
We have to do another North American headlining tour for sure. Absolutely.
Okay, then good luck with all your tours. Thank you for the interview.
Grazie mille.
Prego.